Chapter 1. Me. I'm always used to letting other people introduce me because I simply don't like it. Of course, nobody knows that is a perfect way or a way to present yourself. But what should one really say about himself? It's easy to talk about yourself when it comes to question at the front, but otherwise it's quite a difficult. But what else is it is to say except for basic things like, let's see, your age, your name, and what you like to do. Maybe have something to do with the fact that I'm not a social person. I never dare to stand in front of millions of people or even few people, no matter how many there are. Even though I always manage to make it happen, I always have this creepy feeling while talking about myself, almost like I'm talking about someone else. Really strange feelings. Have you ever felt that feeling? Then you definitely know what I'm talking about. It's almost as if you're having a presentation at school or at work. Even though it's a normal conversation with few people, I do prefer to be completely silent and observe the person instead of being social and socialize myself. What is a bit strange is that I'm not always have been such a person. Earlier, I was quite happy, glad person, having full of joy and energy almost all the time. All the way into a drastic incident that I didn't know it was about to change my life. Ever since then, I've been keeping myself a distance from people and only take time for myself. Some people might thinking that I'm protecting myself a bit too much. Others think that I will regret extremely much both now and later. While it's true, in parts, I'm noticing that it's already affecting my social life and a bit family. This is who I am and will mostly be that way. Who knows? My name is Jayleen and I feel like I'm old, even though it doesn't look like. At the same time, I don't care about what people think about me. The only thing I feel unsure about is my height. Because what I'm telling you, I'm tall. Then I'm really tall. I look like I could have played a basketball or something like that. I'm actually the tallest in my family apart from my sister-in-law. But she do tracks, so that makes sense. She is 183 and I am 180. So you can understand what it's like to be fucking high all the time. All eyes on you and etc etc. So right now I am currently visiting my family. There's not much to say about them except for they are completely locos. Of course, in a positive way. But really complicated, which is one of the main reasons why I don't live with them anymore or barely talks with some of them, because it feels like every time I come and visit them, it is always a new family members. You have never seen them before, but they completely recognize you right away, and when you don't remember them or don't know who they are, they might take it personally. So short and sweet, get a lot of headaches every time. But it's also because their beautiful parents has a family before us, so it always comes as a surprise every time I visit them. Into this day, they have never been able to explain us that they had a family before us or why, and they are expecting us to get along with them. It will certainly happen, of course, but one thing that I think will never happen is that I will not forget them. Because every time we have been asking them the reason, they always said to protect our feelings and that they were scared if they're going to invite them to or introduce them to our family. They were afraid that we are going to throw them away. I think that is such a nonsense because we'll probably do that at the beginning, but simply me and my siblings have not grown up with them and we didn't hear about them until after the funeral of my brother. And I still remember this day until now as it was yesterday, how my family was completely surprised or shocked that when my dad told us that it was our siblings. It was completely impossible to describe the common feeling we had and still have. I'm pretty sure that none of us wanted to have a contact with them even though it wasn't their fault. Because it is, of course, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't even know about it. So since the situation have none of us addressed the issues, don't know if it's the best for us to just let it be or address it at the right time. A lot of things have happened ever since the accident, so much that I had to quit my job and come back and fix it. I've been trying not to discuss about it and not thinking about it at all, even though it's not that easy because it have changed my life. I could not even put myself together for my little ones and my siblings because those who were responsible didn't return until my father got married. The reason why I came this time though was because my stepbrother is getting married later this week. Even though I didn't want to come, I had no choice. Basically, here am I with old people, cozy at a certain time, but at the same time not at all, because it's always so awkward when we are together, and I'm trying to avoid that so I don't look like a damn fool. For being honest, I don't have any good relation with anyone from my family due to the things that happened over 7 years. Ever since the death of my brother, things have got even worse and worse ever since then. He and my sister-in-law were the only ones who keep the family up for several years. My brother and my sister-in-law was the only one who managed to keep the family up for a really long time, despite the fact that my father-in-law just made chaos every day. Therefore, I just want to avoid some things. But a few years after the death of my brother, the stepmom and then my stepdad, my mother's husband, trying to keep the family dynamic up. How it has been since then, no idea. Don't care, could care less. I finally keep distance from the whole family and don't want to get into it. Although it has been peaceful to getting away from everything around my family, I've been busy during the years with work, and I have recently got done with my study after several years abroad. It's probably something to brag about, but I feel that I'm not completely proud of myself yet. Maybe it's because I'm a bit too hard on myself, or maybe because I haven't found yet the right dream. I have both bachelor and master degrees in several fields, but still don't know. There are major life changes that I feel that I need. Of course, I'm in the process of moving all the time, but this time I pretty am sure that it will be different. It's time that I need stable, controlled support for once. Feel that I haven't heard or said this word for the longest that I can remember. But I would say that I have more work experience than study experience. I have jobs at several companies that my family has cooperated with. Even though they're not what I want, it has given me some benefits that I can take on. And if something happens to those companies, I basically control all the cards on the table and can control the situation wherever I am. And nobody knows about it, and I think it will probably be like that. The plan ahead with my job is just to continue on the phrase that I am. I have recently been given 2 incredible job opportunities that is really difficult to choose from, because I'm extremely fond of the both, but must choose one of them. Thank God that I have a few weeks to decide before I have to make this big decision, so I think it will probably be just fine. Actually, I spoke about it with my sister-in-law and my stepbrother the other day. They were really happy for me and thought it might be the biggest thing that could happen in my life. Even if my stepbrother is getting married, we will live in the same city if I say yes to the work, of course. Something that I think is amazing. In addition to that, I have a child friend who will move there soon, so I will be surrounded by people who love me, so that's a good thing. As much as I don't care, I know that I have to bring that up with the whole family, even though that's not what I want. But I'm like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't make a big difference if I'm telling them or if they will hear that from someone. So for me, therefore, it doesn't matter if they will be aware of it or not. But I know why they will say if it is a gesture of a type of respect. Even though I'm constantly moving, I'm always staying in a specific place that again nobody knows about. And a lot of it is because I don't want anyone to know what's going on in my life, especially when my daughter is in press. That part I've been mentioned to shut it down from people, including my family, ever since the father of my child and my brother passed away for several years ago. Ever since, I've been lying to everyone and just said that no one is in my life, nothing's going on. Let's just hope that it will not find out while I'm visiting my stepbrother, because I know it will lead to chaos all the way. At the moment, my daughter is living with me and my best friend. I got her during my study and become a miracle of forced marriage, will I say, even though I didn't want to have a kid, but that day, it completely changed. Through all this year, she only have given me hope and light to endure me and at the same time keep me strong. Of course, she doesn't know the history about my family, but she have heard certain things about them during my conversation with Paige, and have asked me questions about it. I have not give her any directly answer, and I will not do it until I'm ready, until I say so as well. Even though she seems completely young, she behaves like an adult woman. She is studying and working for a high security company that have given her opportunity to travel all over the world, but she preferred to be here with me. Even though we having a daughter-mother relationship, it just actually feels like it. Maybe because we have an absolutely wonderful relationship. Almost like as if we are best friends talking about everything and nothing. When I'm gone, she keeps me updates on what's going on in her life. And I almost do the same, except for it's nothing much to tell about my life. But her life, on the hand, is actually much more interesting. Because a few years after her dad passed away, she got a job offer for a large intelligence organization abroad. She declined because she thought it was not the right thing to do. When it comes to the timing, she got the offer a few weeks after her father passed away. So of course she gets a bit precious. But ever since then, many intelligence organizations have contacted us with more guaranteed fuel climbs. In addition to that, nobody needs to know about us unless we want to. Which I think is really a good thing. but she still have refused it until recently this year. Don't know what made her change her mind. I mean, if that's what she wants, then I can only support her. In the recently months, we have been talking about the way forward when it comes to her job, study, and my job. But thank God, when it comes to her study, she has a few months left, so I'm really glad for that. But she have constantly plans that change all the time. So things are really unstable right now.
Stay tuned for Chapter 2.